Hello everybody, Jeff Cowan here from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk. I'm back with a new edition of my podcast entitled Right Service, Write Your Own Paycheck, The Path to Making Over $100,000 a Year when writing service in the automotive industry. And you know, 20% of you at this recording that live in the United States of America, Canada, and Australia that are doing that job are doing just that, making over $100,000 a year. But that still means that 80% of you are not. So what do we do about that? Well, I think one of the smartest things you can do is to continue to watch my podcast and listen to it and do what I say. I mean, if you go back and watch the old podcast, watch this one, watch my future ones, and you take the tactics, the techniques, and the processes that I describe and put them in play in your service drive, you too will find yourself very quickly making $100,000 a year or more, and you will love it when you do, especially if you've never done it before. I'm coming to you with, again, what I think is a very timely message, and I say that because, you know, during this pandemic, I've gotten a lot more emails, texts, and telephone calls than I typically do, and what's even more impressive is that most of these are coming from advisors. There's two questions and two things that are coming up that I really want to address here today, and here's what they are. One is this. You know, I've been getting a lot of texts from advisors that say, you know, Jeff, I was furloughed or laid off during this. Now, my service center stayed open, and some of my team members are still working. You know, my coworkers are working, but I was the one they chose to furlough or lay off, and I didn't like it. So how do I prevent that happening in the future? Or, Jeff, I don't know if I'm getting invited back. So if I find myself looking for another place to go, how do I make sure that I can get hired and I am successful there? You know, so basically what you're asking is how do you create job security, all right? So I think, you know, if you're in the position where you've been furloughed or laid off, there's always the chance you may not get invited back, so you may be looking for a new place. If you've been furloughed or laid off, it's probably because you weren't a top producer, and sometimes becoming a top producer requires that you really love the place you're at, and what's really going to make you love the place you're at is can you accomplish what you want in your life and what you want for your family by working there? So let's take a look at 6 steps here to make sure that you become a person of value, okay? Because that's the secret here. If you were laid off or furloughed, as hard as it is to hear this, you probably weren't seen as the most valuable person to keep around to help the business accomplish its goals. So how do you become a person of value? Well, first, like I said, you've got to be excited about what it is, you know, working where you work, and what gets people excited about that is if you're able to accomplish what you want in your life. So step number 1. Ask yourself this: what are you trying to accomplish? What goals do you have set for you and your family? What are you trying to accomplish? That's the first question you need to answer. The second one is, are you currently in the right place that can help you accomplish that? So the place that laid you off or furloughed, if you go back, is it a place that you can be in that's going to help you accomplish that? And if you end up going someplace else when you're looking for a new job, you have to ask yourself, is this place that I'm looking at here, will they be able to help me accomplish my goals? So let's assume that you're furloughed, you're laid off, and you get called back, all right? And you wonder, can this place really help me accomplish my goals? You know, because in the past it's not been able to. So here's how you determine if you're in the right place. First, is somebody making more money than you? Okay, because so many times I see people going to work and they say, well, this place doesn't play the way it's supposed to, I'm never going to make the amount of money, you know, this one, blah, blah, blah. But the first thing to look around at is are you the top person? Okay, I mean, are you making the most amount of money? Now, chances are, if you're laid off, the answer to that's no. So it probably means that somebody is making more money. So if there is somebody making more money than you, are they making enough to accomplish your goals? Because if they are, then you're probably in the right place, but not necessarily doing the job the right way. Another thing you look at is your numbers. Are your numbers the highest numbers, okay? And are your numbers at a state that will help you accomplish your goal? And the way to look at that is once you do, let's say your numbers are lower, well then, you know, am I in the right place, wrong place? Well, another place you can look is your declined sales. Go back over the last 3 to 4 months and take a look at all the things you presented to people that declined them. And then add it up and say, if I would have gotten those sales, would that have put my numbers in a place for me to make the amount of money I need to accomplish my goals? The answer is probably going to be yes to that. And so now it's what if you've gotten that? What would I have done to get those sales? And chances are you're going to have to train. You just weren't prepared enough for the task, okay? Another place is non-presented items. You know, I talk about this all the time, where so many times service advisors we'll have a technician that says the vehicle needs this, 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 and this, or based on the mileage, you know it needs this, this, and this, but you, for some reason, decide that you're not going to present it to the customer because you can't get it through the shop, or you're convinced they're not going to buy it, or you're convinced they don't have the money, or you're convinced, and again, you can't work from that standpoint. You have to work from the standpoint that I've been preaching here the last several weeks, and that's this. No matter what a customer comes in and asks for, whether it's preventative maintenance or service or repair, the only question they're asking is, how do I make my car perfect? And your only answer is always this much time and this much money. You show them everything. This much time and this much money. Doesn't make any difference if you think they can afford it or not. Doesn't make any difference if you can get it through the shop today or not. None of that makes a difference. The only thing that's going to make a difference if you truly answer the question. This much money and this much time. Okay? Because if you're not presenting everything and you start and you're able to close it, would that get you to the numbers that would allow you to make the income you need to accomplish your goals? Okay, because when you test yourself this way by looking at is there somebody else making more money? What if I would have gotten those declined sales? What if I would have presented everything? Then you see what's truly possible at this location. Okay, and most of the time you're going to find that it will help you accomplish your goals. All right, so the first thing is, what are you trying to accomplish, and are you the right place to make that happen? If the answer is yes, then now you've got to work on proving more value, that you're more valuable. How do you do that? Well, before I get into that, because I've got 4 more points here, I want to talk to you about this. You know, like you've learned before, just like we learned after 9/11, just like we learned after 2008, the most important part of a car dealership, talking about those for a second, is your fixed ops. That's where the money is made. If you're not tied to a car dealership, you're going to find here that very, very quickly your customers are going to be coming back. There's going to be a lot of pent-up demand, and now's the time to make the money. So what are you going to do about that? Well, dial this number, 1-800-248-2931, or go to automotiveservicetraining.com. Take a look at what we can do. You know, I've got all kinds of training programs. We can send people to your business, have them stand side by side with you and teach our processes. They'll coach, critique, role play, train, and even write service if they need to. We have people that come in and show you how to manage a shop. We have management training. We can set up express services for you from the ground up, or we can train your people in that. We can set up a business development center for service for you, or coach the one that you have. Literally, there's nothing we can't do in that department. We also, in addition to that, you can come to our workshops. You can have me come in and I will do a private workshop for just you and your team. You can use our online training. Got some exciting news for you right there. During this pandemic, I've re-recorded all of my online training, so it is up to date, it is fresh, it is current, and it is absolutely the best content that will get the maximum results, the best results any place out there. I mean, if you want to have perfect survey scores, my training will do it. You want to have high customer retention, you want to have high effective labor rate, you want to have high sales, hours per repair of their life, and you want to have no heat, my training is the answer. We'll get that done. We'll get it done for you quickly. Now, when it comes to virtual training, got a very big special deal, because some of you are saying, well, Jeff, it'd be great to invest in training, but I don't have any money. Right now, things are slow. We've been closed down. Well, guess what? I'm going to help you out. Money won't keep us apart. Because, for example, with our virtual training, here's what I'm going to do. You call us up, $99 down, no payments for 3 months, and then 3 months from now we start billing your location for 12 months in a row. And in the meantime, you get to train, you get the higher numbers, you get the increases, you make more money. It's all great. So call 1-800-248-2931. Let me and my team help you out. We will not let you down. Nobody's better. Nobody's got better content, nobody gets better results, and nobody's able to sustain the way we can show you how to sustain the results once we find them, man. If you're really serious about this, now's the time. So, we're talking about how to make yourself valuable to your place. We talked about first we have to discover, when you get called back after being furloughed or laid off, what are you trying to accomplish? Are you in the right place to make that happen? I give you what things to follow along there to see if you're in the right place, to see if that happens, and most of you are going to find out the place you're at can make it happen. It's just a matter of you being dedicated enough to develop your skill to make it happen. So then what do you do after that? Well, number 3, the next thing you need to ask is, how can you become more valuable to your owner? How can you become more valuable to your owner? Now, some of you may just simply be selling more and building more business. It may be developing the business. Some of you may be simply going over and saying, look, I'd like to help out more. So I'm willing to come in and work on Saturdays where I wasn't before. Or you know what, if you ever need somebody to open up the store because you can't come in, I would do that for you. Or close it at night, I would do that for you. If you need somebody to sit in when you've got to go someplace else. It's number 4. Same thing with the service manager. Okay, maybe you go to your manager and say, look, I'd like to help out here. I'm going to really make a strong effort to be the best salesperson I can be, but if you need to step away for a few hours because you've got something to go on, I'll sit in the manager's chair for you. Show me how. You want somebody to come in and open up early for you, I'll take that over for you. So you can come in maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes later yourself, or if you decide you want to leave at 5, but somebody needs to be at 6, I'll do that for you. So how can you be more help to your owner? Number 5, how can you be more help to your team? Now this one's really valuable. Become the person that the other advisors come to when they have a concern. Be the person the advisors come to when they need somebody to help them close the deal, when they need somebody to help somebody talk to them on the phone, when they need help calming somebody down, when they need help with anything. Be the person that becomes so good that everybody comes to you for the solution. And then finally, 6, how can you help yourself? Now, we were talking about a second ago, you might find that you don't have, that you have too many declined services, or maybe you're not presenting everything and you work on those. But here's how you can build your clientele as well. Do things like this. There's some ideas off the top of my head. How about a weekly video? How about you pull out your iPhone and you're going to film a real quick little video for your customers. Maybe it's 2 or 3 minutes long, and maybe it's just something like, hey, this is Jeff coming to you from your service drive over here, and I just wanted to let you know, give you a tip for this week. We're rolling out of May into June, and in June we find a lot of people get on the road and take vacations, and that being the case, maybe it's time for you to come in and take a look at having your tires rotated, or maybe you need new tires, or maybe you need to get your car serviced before you take that long trip. And if you want to do that, I'm the guy to call. I can't get into all the videos you could film here and exactly how to do them, but if you call me, I'll help you out. Call us up on that number. We can show you all kinds of templates for that. Or how about you do this as a service advisor? How about if you just sit down and make weekly thank you for coming in telephone calls? Now, let me rephrase that. How about if you make weekly phone calls that just say thank you for nothing? Thank you for nothing. Hey, Mr. Customer, I just wanted to call you. I realized I hadn't seen you in three or 4 months, and it's not that you're due for any services, because according to our records, you've got another 60 days before you're due to come in. But I was just sitting here thinking about how blessed I am to have this job, and how blessed I am to have all the opportunity that it provides, and it's only because of people like you. So I just want to call and say thank you for being my customer, and I look forward to seeing you next time. As corny as that sounds, if you were to make 10 or 15 of those phone calls a week, 2 or 3 of those a day, you'd be stunned at the response that you got. Just thank you for being my customer. Or you can send a text that says that, or you can send an email that says that, or God forbid you could do all 3 of those. Impact would be huge. You could also create a newsletter, right? Whenever I recommend this in workshops, people say, well, I'm not a writer, I can't do that. There are tons and tons of places out there that will do that for you. As a matter of fact, there's a website you should visit called Fiverr. F is in Frank, I is in I, V is in Victory, E is in Easter, R is in River.com. You go there and they have people on there all day long for $5 that would do this for you all day long. Another thing you can do to make yourself more valuable is train. You should always train. You should dedicate at least 15 minutes a day to train yourself to be better at what it is that you do. Other things you can do is sign yourself up for training, whether it's online or you physically go to a class. This is what professionals do. These people are making $100,000 a year. They're doing these type of things on a regular basis. What kind of classes would I would take? They don't have to be just service advisor or automotive related. I would take classes, and do take classes, on leadership. If you want to be more valuable to your owner, to your service manager, to your team, you're going to have to lead, and you may not know how to lead, so you need to take some leadership courses. And by the way, at Pro Talk, we have leadership classes, not only from me, but from Dave Anderson, who is a stud. This guy is on our training platform, man, and he gets it done. You want to learn how to be a leader, this guy's going to show you how. I would take classes on investment, on how to invest your money once you make it. I take classes on sales, and I definitely would take classes on social media, because I would recommend that you set up some social media revolving around what you do. And I'm not talking about social media revolving around calling mom and saying hi and talking to your friends. I'm talking about you set up social media based on what you do at work, and you have your followers. Take classes on that, see how to pop that out. Now, by doing this, what's going to happen is you're going to ensure you're always going to work. Why? Because when you go back to work after being furloughed and laid off, and all of a sudden they see your numbers start to climb to the top of the group, and now you're leading the sales board, and now you're leading the income, and now you're the go-to person, because the owner can come to you because they know you can get it done, or the service manager can come to you because they know they can get it done, and the other advisors start coming to you because they know you're the person that gets it done. you've now become of great value to everybody in that business. And when next time something happens, because there is going to be another time that something happens, whether it's next year, 10 years from now, or 20 years from now, you'll be so valuable to the organization and yourself that they won't even think about laying you off or furloughing you, because what they're going to do is they're going to go to the weakest person on the staff, and that's who they're going to furlough, and that's who they're going to lay off, and that person won't be you, because you're going to step up and you're going to start holding yourself accountable. And you know, I think Albert Einstein really said it best. That's what the best is. You know, don't focus so much. This is something I've lived by the way. Don't focus so much on being a person of success and being a successful person. Focus on becoming a valuable person. Don't focus on becoming a successful person. Focus on becoming a valuable person, because when you become a valuable person, then everything else kind of falls into place. So I hope this answered your questions. I hope this gets it done for you. My name's Jeff Cowan from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk, and I'm going to have another podcast coming out here in just a few days, so watch for that. In the meantime, you need anything that we can help you out with, 1-800-248-2931, 1-800-248-2931. Anybody picks up that phone can make it happen for you. With that, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. My name is Jeff Cowan from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk. Can't wait to talk to you next time. In the meantime, God bless you all. Have a good day.